If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. Let me down.
Married people of Reddit, if you had a do-over, would you still marry the same person? If not, why are you still married?
What people call love is just a chemical reaction that compels animals to breed. It hits hard, Morty, then it slowly fades, leaving you stranded in a failing marriage. I did it. Your parents are gonna do it. Break the cycle, Morty. Rise above. Focus on science.
For me, it was the opposite. When we were engaged, it was rough, and had doubts we were ready to get married. Fast forward to 22 years, she's my best friend. She the first person I want to call when something good happens, the first person I want to talk to when something bad happens. Yes, I would, but there are actions and things about my past that I would do over or differently if I had the opportunity. I would marry her again every single time. She, on the other hand, would not have married me. She doesn't want to be married at all. So I'm trying to deal with that.
Virtual hugs.
I feel you, brother. We're staring down a divorce. We've had the talk of who would get what, how much, and I would take our son. I looked at her the other night and was like, shouldn't it tell us something that we're talking, laughing, having a great time? There's no arguments, there never was, we have a healthy relationship. But she can't seem to understand that our relationship is changing, and needs to mature, not dissolve. All of this because she's freaking out that she hasn't had a mega successful career, and is changing as a woman going into her mid-30s. Almost 13 years of marriage, and she wants to throw it away because she hasn't learned that slaving away at a career is overrated. She's had jobs, and she's often the best employee they've ever had. But she hasn't seen the fruits of that labor. I understand it. But she's ready to throw away our relationship and the proximity with our son just so she can try to be successful. It doesn't matter that I've always supported, loved, and lifted her up. In the end, she hasn't figured out how to be happy with who she is, and I can't be the one who convinces her otherwise. The counselor that we had sucked, and basically let me run the show, which wasn't healthy. I've been an individual and marriage counselor for 15 years, and she never called either of us on our crap. Honestly, it would have been better if we would have never gone to her. I've made her favorite meals, cared for our houses, built her a garden for Mother's Day, lost 30 pounds, dressed well, ensured a comfortable retirement, and taken care of our son. In the end, none of that matters to her. She just talks to her friends that support her decision, and never talks to anyone who would challenge her decision. I too am trying to deal with that. Godspeed.
It's telling that how I would have answered this question would vary based on what year I was asked, sometimes on which day I was asked. Examples: year 0 to 5 would have picked spouse over and over. Year 6 to 8 found a soulmate at work. Never had an affair, but boy did I want to. So glad at this point I didn't pursue and ruin my life and impact many others. For example, the soulmate soon found a great single guy and is happily married with lovely kids and never had to deal with the drama of being a homewrecker or a stepmom. Had I been single when I met this person in some different cosmos, she might have been the person sleeping next to me right now. Year 9 to 24 would have picked spouse, with the exception of the night of the spaghetti incident. Year 25 would have picked just about any person I was ever mildly attracted to over my spouse. Rough year. Daughter's sobs broke both of our hearts and changed the direction. Year 26 to 30, spouse probably, building to spouse for sure. I'm thankful I held out. Doubt this trajectory will change at this point. Mature enough to realize I would have eventually had ups and downs with any other person. have watched friends upend their lives only to find 5 years later their new person isn't perfect either. Love can be rebuilt if both are willing to try. TLDR, marriage has ups and downs. Children, parents, spouse, other person, yourself, and many others are impacted.
I came here to answer this Reddit Q1 way, and reading your post is making me rethink that. Anyway, thanks for sharing. You've helped a stranger today, winking face. Also, I am dying to ask about the spaghetti incident, persevering face.
She realized last year that she's gay, not bi. She's not sure if she was always gay or just gradually lost her interest in men or what, but she's only interested in women these days. I still love her madly, she still loves me platonically, we're best friends and we have kids together, but it's complicated, I guess. I don't regret the years we've had together. We have 3 beautiful kids. My favorite memories seem to involve her. But there's a dull, ever-present ache that comes with knowing that she doesn't feel about me how I feel about her. And if it were suddenly 15 years in the past, I don't know which would be harder, marrying with the knowledge that she'll spend years in denial about her lack of attraction to me and all the baggage that comes with that, or throwing away the good years completely and preventing the kids from existing in the process.
My sister went through a similar realization several years ago. She and her kids seem so much happier since the divorce, and I really love her new wife, but I can't help feeling really bad for her ex-husband.
In all honesty, probably not. We met very young and have grown into very different people than we were when we first met, taken totally different paths, and completely changed life plans a few times. I think if we were meet now we would think of ourselves as being too different. In fact, I don't think we would meet if we hadn't met the way we did. Our lives would be so different. That being said, we have been together for almost 12 years and grown up together. We learn so much about each other and have a true understanding, having gone through so much already that I can't imagine not having my partner, who knows how I would react, the way I think and process, and my history so intimately, next to me throughout our lives together. We have strength because of our combined growth. To clarify, we met as 18-19-year-olds and have been married for 6 years.
High school sweetheart, we're together 7+ years. We still talk, but I have no clue who she is. I'm glad we broke up and I found the right one. I'm glad you guys worked out.
I feel like if I were to say no, then I would be lying to myself. As much as I love my wife, I can't avoid the curiosity of what could have been if I chose the single route for the rest of my life. I'm also aware that most marriages have ups and downs. And marriage is something that you don't simply walk away from like a boyfriend-girlfriend. You have to realize that marriages take work too. Sometimes it's as effortless as breathing, and others are when you think you may want to just walk away from it all. Wife, kids, day-to-day life, etc., and start over. Give it enough time and you may think of everything, whether it's a couple of years or decades. Currently thinking of this song Roy Clark, Right or Left at Oak Street, and the show, Married with Children. I know I'm still married because I believe she's worth it all and she believes that I'm worth it too.
I love my wife, and whatever problems we have, we sort them out together. For as long as we both can and want to make the effort. But part of me wonders what it'd be like to live life with my own problems and no one else's.
Lonely. It would be lonely.
I'd have nobody to call my own. Seriously though, it's more morbid curiosity than anything else. Same way I wonder what it'd be like to jump off a skyscraper.
You can have a full family and still feel lonely. Likewise, if you're alone, you can have a pet to help ease the feeling.
Hell yes. My hubby and I met when I was 18. 23 years, 2 kids, a dog, and 11 years in business together, and we are still absolutely best friends and very much in love. We've been through for better and for worse, richer, poorer, sickness, and health, and I'm sure there will be more of all of those to come. We've worked together and supported each other through everything. We've grown and grown up together. I love him.
Now this is relationship goals.
My ex and I both come from families that split. Her parents tried to stay together for the kids, but ended up causing an unhealthy situation that's affected the oldest to this day. They ended up splitting anyway. My parents split early on when I was still little, 2 or 3. Never really had issues after that, worked as a team co-parenting well until my stepmom came in and tried up for drama's sake alone. That went on till I was 15 and moved in with my mum full time. Shit's tight with mum and dad now, but it took time. My mum married a great dude who's an equal dad to me in my eyes. My dad and stepmom are still together for the convenience, initially for the kids, her kids, my brothers and sister, either outright despise her or ignore her completely. My ex and I split when my daughter was 6 months old, amicably, because we could see what was happening to our relationship and didn't want our daughter to go through what we did. Now our daughter is 7, we co-parent like beeping gods and have each other's back no matter what. She just got married last weekend to one of my friends from high school, and I couldn't be happier. Has a good dude and my daughter loves him. They're super happy together. My current partner and I get along amazingly well, and we couldn't be happier. My daughter loves her too. Sure, there were some "why aren't you and mummy like other kids' parents?" questions when she was still in preschool, and some interesting suggestions about all 4 of us getting married. But she understands that's not how we roll, at least not now, and definitely not with them. Ultimately, from my experience, staying together for the kids is actually a really terrible idea. It sets a bad example for the kids of what a healthy relationship is. Never mind, kids are perceptive as they will pick up on the simmering resentment, and because psychology is a bitch, will assume it's their fault. Good luck, man, and do what you think is best, but in my experience it isn't to stay together for the kids.